You listening, dog? I want to give you guys some word of advice, alright? The only person, I mean, it's okay, you know, I've helped people lose weight, but the guys that I can identify the most with are what you call the hard gainers. And for the hard gainers, I would expect if you really wanted to grow, you would do whatever it takes to grow, and that's going to mean eating. And once you have your diet figured out, it's going to be very hard to keep track of all the food. For one, it's going to be hard to make it. It's going to be hard to package it. It's going to be hard to eat it, and it's going to also be hard to afford it. So you're going to want to make sure you have your finances in order. You're going to want to make sure that you spend time cooking. You know how to use all the stuff in the kitchen, like knives, cutting boards, how to clean up after yourself, and so on, right? And time management. So, I mean, if you want to have like an Excel program or use something on BlackBerry or an iPhone app where you're going to track all your foods and try to sum all of the carbs and protein every day, I mean, you potentially could do that. I personally believe if you wanted to incorporate Pop-Tarts into your diet, you probably could. But I don't think it's the most efficient way to do it. And from a practical aspect, I think in terms of, you know, just trying to managing time and try to ensure that you attain all of your goals is to mass produce all your meat, prepackage all your meals, and go. Man production. Mass production, man production of food. And you get that out of the way, you know, you make like 4 or 5 days in advance, and you don't cook for 2 or 3 days, you just eat. And you're not looking at any programs trying to add up the carb content of a bag of chips. You're not adding the carb content of your Pop-Tarts or whatever it may be. You're just eating, going, and you're planning your next cooking session. Okay, that's the way I do it. That's the way I minimize the amount of effort associated with the diet to put on weight. Okay, so in my opinion, now that I'm getting more and more prestige as a bodybuilder, you know, I won my last show. I need to take it one step further. Okay, so if you're going to get to that level, it's also going to benefit you to not be incorporating Pop-Tarts into your diet. And this is why I think this. Because when you run an experiment, let's suppose you have what you call a responding variable, a manipulated variable, and constant variables. Now you want to have all of your variables to be constant, and that's the manipulated variable. And when you manipulate that one variable, you will know the response of that variable. Okay, so if you take all different kinds of foods, right, and you do your best to calculate all the carbs, all the protein, there's two things wrong with that. One, you're developing more than one manipulated variable, and two, you're also introducing a lot of error involved by trying to equate different types of carbs to one carb source, assuming that they are equivalent when you compare one type of glucose to another type of glucose. They're equivalent when it enters your body, right? Assuming that's true, you potentially could try to do it, but like I said, the error and the multiple variables going on is something that I would not want to do that for my dieting, because I want to be very practical and I want to be consistent. How do you get consistent? You cook everything the same, and that way when you measure it, it's all the same. You're not making any changes. Therefore, when you have everything the same, the responding variable, your weight, the way you look, how you feel, all of those kind of things, you can track it. If you're having, Pop-Tart one day and chips the other day and a bagel the next day and bread the other day, and you're trying to add up all your carbs, never mind all that insulin bullshit, you're changing things so much that it's almost impossible to keep track of what the results are, right? So keep it simple, okay? I'm talking to the actual bodybuilders out there, okay? So that when it comes time to contest prep, you can you know, evaluate exactly what you're doing, right? And not, I mean, if you want to be looking at the logo label of everything and trying to add it up and summate it every single day, I mean, you could do that. But is it the most efficient for my time? I gotta work 8 hours. I gotta cook. I gotta do other shit around the house. And all kinds of shit. I don't have time to be looking at my Excel file to sum up all my food every single day, whether I want to make changes here and there. I find that very time consuming. I just want to cook my food for 4 days, eat it, and say, okay, I'm running out of this food, I'm gonna make some more. So, in terms of efficiency for bodybuilding, fuck your Pop Tarts. Alright? It's not the fact of, I mean, it's very easy to go over with the fat content as well. Eating all those processed foods and everything. Just eat good, clean, whole foods. Cheat once in a while. Do it Octavio. If you haven't seen the video, I'll put the link, boom, right there. Watch his video. And it's all about 80 to 90% rule. Follow the program, 80 to 90%. If you fall off, that 5 to 10%, it's not the rule, it's the exception. And everybody has the exceptions, right? For me, I have my program, my weight's going perfectly, I look good. I had, 3 or 4 scoops of ice cream. Am I going to kill myself over it? Probably not. Am I going to look a little bit watered down tomorrow? Yeah, it's off season, right? There's going to be times during the contest prep that I'll kill you for some ice cream, but it's not that time right now. So, you got to really just pick your battles, and then when it's time to get serious, it's time to get serious. But, it's very easy. How many of you guys have wanted to eat just 1 or 2 chocolates and end up eating like 30 of them, right? If you have one little sweet here, I mean, of course you could probably incorporate it, but is it really going to satisfy you, and you might as well just not even eat it, right? And then, another thing is just about the time differential, The only reason why I say that you should eat 2 to 3 hours is because there's so much food on my diet to eat in order to gain some significant weight that, I wouldn't want to eat it every 4 hours, or I would never be able to finish one meal. It would be just ridiculous. So when my stomach starts gargling after 2.5 hours of food, it's not because it's, oh, you know what, I gotta eat. It's been 2 or 3 hours. It's because my stomach hurts. And, that feeling of hunger, that feeling? So, when people say you're an idiot for saying that you eat for 2 or 3 hours, it's because I'm fucking hungry, man.